I give my friend Daniel probably like a lifetime, like a real thing, like lifetime subscription to OnlyFans.com, maybe an industrial sized tub of lubricant. Maybe I'll give him a Michael Jackson, one of his gloves from like Balmain or whoever he got his diamond studded gloves, and I'll give him like an entire lifetime supply of Band-Aids and like let him think about what to do. That'd be interesting. And then Kelsey, I would give a 1.5 times size duplicate of my penis in silicone bust. Maybe a nice piece of art to be tasteful, to balance that out. Yeah. Maybe like a audiobook, like The Sorcerer's Stone as interpreted by J.K. Simmons. That'd be cool if they're related. So it would be really cool if J.K. Simmons did a reading of The Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and he did it as if in the same like tone or comportment of his character in Whiplash. Potter! Sorry. That might have been too loud. I don't know. You little shit. You're a fucking loser, Potter. Like Potter gets really sad in this version. Like in this version, he might even take some sort of like latitude and like really make Potter, like Potter has like it's on manic depressives because of like he's a manic depressive in this. He's on antidepressants because of the bombardment by this more extreme reading by J.K. Simmons. Maybe he cuts himself and stuff like that. I don't know. Some more intense version of Harry Potter by J.K. Simmons I think makes more sense. Yeah, probably. I talked to my brother the other day. I mentioned, do you remember when you thought Steel Dragon was a real band? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you remember when you thought that we went to see Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston? You thought that was like a real like documentary or something? He's like, what are you talking about? That is a real band. I'm like, what? Yeah, they're still real. My brother has emotional problems and violent outbursts. And I remember the time when I had this talk with him when he was younger, he beat me with a tennis racket, insisting that Steel Dragon was real. But since this is over the phone, I thought I could bring it up and be safe. But he got really angry on the phone. And I'm like, you think that motion picture soundtrack is, what is that? It's a movie. It's from the doc. He's like, yeah. But, I'm like, oh my God. You remember that? They were like, oh, wasting my soul, taste my life from my... Sorry. I can't sing worth a damn because I'm tone deaf, but I feel like when I'm singing that everyone is just like, look at my titties. And just like people are like, fuck my girlfriend. I'm just like, oh, taste of my life. Well, like if I was a famous person that did shit on stage all the time, I would go out and just lip sync songs a cappella or just do renditions of like Radiohead and shit like that just to feel what it's like and pretend that I'm good, or have the fan base that like doesn't care. They know that I'm delusional. They love me for something else and they just put up with it. So they like, all right, we got to make him feel good. So he's about to, as he has to do. Black, Pearl Jam. It's like, oh, legs lay out before me as her body lay still. What's my favorite part of that song? Oh, you why can't it be mine? Oh, you're under somebody else's sky. Why can it be? Sorry, I'm sorry. I gotta stop. I'm sorry. Eddie Vedder, though. I mean, come on. What girl wouldn't? Or that guy that like, he was like 14 when he wrote that song. It's 12 o'clock and it's 2 double legs. Well, I know she hates me, but I'll ask anyway. That guy. He's like 14 when he wrote that song. How many ass he got writing that song back when rock was a thing. You know, I feel bad for Greta Van Fleet, because they were getting big with the guy that sounds like Robert Plant, right when like Led Zeppelin, this like perfect Highway Tune, excellent song. If you haven't heard it, read it. Listen to it. Read it. It's great. It's like, is that Robert Plant? No, it's not. It's a lead singer of Greta Van Fleet, and it's awesome, and they're amazing. But they were peaking, or they were rising up to like commercial success right when COVID happened, and then they had to take a back seat. I'm sure they're just like, this sucks. You really go from like you're Aerosmith and you're doing like you're like selling in arenas to then you're like selling out like a 13 seat room place with people wearing masks. They're like spread out. You're like, this, I don't even know. Like, what am I doing? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you, I don't know. Like if Dave Matthews all of a sudden started doing like 15 room seating sessions, you suck. And he's like, God, people like in 1994 thought like are coming in their pants to this shit. Live at the Red Rocks. Oh my God, Live at the Red Rocks. Satellite. You know, I don't know. I love. Oh man, those were the days, man. No, like Tinder, no, just like I saw this girl, man. Oh my God, we were looking at each other like 200 yards away at the concert. She was like, you know, shaking her titties on top of her boyfriend's, you know, shoulders. But I feel like I have a shot. And then you do, like somehow, like serendipity, you just fucking see her at the ice cream stand or the ecstasy dealer. You're just like, is that? Like, I have a boyfriend. Well, I mean, you know, you're kind of like telling me that you wish you didn't. So why don't we just pretend for 5 minutes? Those were the days, man. Now everything's like, oh, look, my profile, my analytics match with your analytics. We must be, dude. It's I feel bad for kids today. It's like, a kid like Michael Smith commits suicide because some like bot in India tells him that he's ugly. Like, what the fuck? What is going on? That's good old days, man. The good old days. Want to see something like I've had this raccoon eating a bag of snacks in a really like polite and like Emily Post manner. I fucking like that. Look at that guy. He's so good. He's so polite. You know, we're not special. You know, we should treat our animals better. We really should. When I was a kid, I don't know if I mentioned this in another podcast, I would walk my dog into other people's yards. I would go where the fuck he wants to go. My mom would like scream at me. It's 2:00 in the morning. A dog wants to go outside. He's whining. So I let him go out. And he starts barking at the moon and like the other dogs. You can hear them all around start bark. And my mom was dying from cancer at this time. So I'm sure it was kind of annoying. But I was like, but the dog, Mom. It was also kind of funny. The dog would just get really defensive when it was around my mom. It knew my mom was dying. He knew Jaws, the cockapoo named Jaws. He would like bite people, and yeah, he'd keep people away from my mom. It was really kind of cool. Yeah, I would like walk him. He'd like want to walk in someone's yard. I remember a lot of weird shit because I was 6'6" at 12. So when you're in someone else's yard at 6'6", and like you just look like you're robbing them. That's what you look like an adult. Like it's weird. It's also weird that it took me so. At 16, I was 6'6", and I was skinny. I was 166 pounds on my license. That's what it says. Still, 166 pounds at 6'6". It's like you're trying to like, I don't know, like you're like I have AIDS or some shit. Like I don't know. Like I read Dr. Fauci said, oh, you should take this AZT shit. Look at your gold hair; it'll help you. And then I'm starting to die. It didn't work. Just a side note, Fauci was the guy that pushed AZT back in the 80s during the AIDS epidemic. Just saying to all my LGBTQ friends that are not necessarily super like, oh, Trump's the most evil thing in the world and anyone thinks they're like more balanced, or anyone in general. Even if you hate the fact that I have a shirt that says deplorables with attitude on it, it's kind of like mocking that like 50% of the voting demographic is, you know, like dumb or idiotic or uneducated or, you know, because they're not part of the mainstream media's perception of reality. That's kind of the gist of it. Be free, be you, DWA. Think for yourself.